Good evening, everybody. This is Diamonds Forever 31 show tonight on December 1st, 2015. Elizabeth Diamond, your friend, your diamond cohort with all of you guys. And welcome to the show tonight. 3113, 31, rawr, the lion taking dominion. That's you. That's me. That's everyone as they come into knowing who they are, their supernatural, natural self, as they unlock the keys inside and heal themselves, love themselves, then you're the rawr, lion taking dominion with love, conquering all. Truly, that is the truest truth you can get to. And beyond, just right now, I'm just saying it's not the truth. Our truth is limitless, you guys. We're limitless! Yay! So welcome, everybody. Yes, we will have candy for the candy jar tonight, and I have a few readings, and we have Lily here for the Law of Fun, yay, and Cynthia and Chris tonight, Galactizing, and Cynthia. We're going to get all encouraged tonight
and
by
Marianne
everything.
Too, and may or may even be on too, we hope.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, everybody's here. Tonight, missed you for Thanksgiving. We didn't have shows last Wednesday or Thursday. But do catch the show if you haven't listened to it last Monday. It was with Merv, the laughing doctor, I'll call him. It was a really great show. And we were up for a show like that. We did an awesome show. Me and Lily got inspired by some of you out there, and we did a fantastic Christmas show last year. So look for that on the older YouTube channel. It was really great. And we look forward to more Christmas shows, you guys. So fasten your seatbelts, get ready. Be sure to go to the Diamonds blog, Diamonds with an S, forever31.blogspot.com. Both YouTube channels of Diamond shows are there. Chris and Cynthia's links are there. The new Facebook page, Diamonds Forever 31, link is there on the right-hand side. And we blog, and Benjamin Fulford, I'm sure Candy will bring that up a little bit. If not, I will. And be sure to donate. Be benefactors of Diamonds Network. Please, we need your help. We need you to benefact with us to bring this all out to the world and beyond. Well, we are already doing that beyond by galactizing. So let me see if I wanted to read something little here, and then we'll do candy. These two articles I picked today, and just watch. Me or Cynthia haven't talked, or Chris haven't talked, Candy, we haven't talked. Just watch how this just sinks in with everything that goes tonight. I don't know what's going to, but my heart said to pick these, and so I did. So we'll see. Just watch. This is a small article. Feminine and masculine, we will all eventually balance the attributes of each. And this is really short, and then we'll bring Candy in. The control center of sex is, I'm reading this because Cynthia has been talking about the angels of sexuality and spiritual sex, and they've been around in the astrology lately. So the control center of sex is not located in the dense body, but in the sublime organization of the soul. In the greater world, Francisco Xavier, 2009. Oh, that's a page, a quote from a page. I read this and was intrigued. If there was anything about us that seemed to be rooted in our dense, primitive, and often brutish bodies, it is sex. But Andrew Lou's mentor tells us what sex means in the higher spiritual regions and how it molds us here on Earth. Down on Earth, men and women are distinguished according to specific organic features. As for us in transit to higher spiritual regions, the remembrance of our earthly existence is still preponderant. We know, however, that in such higher regions, femininity and masculinity are characteristics of souls that are highly passive or openly active. That's in that book, page 158. Hence, sex is an attitude, or more succinctly, an attribute. Attributes that we acquire throughout our many lives. he describes this process further. Consequently, we know that in the variations of our experiences, we gradually acquire divine qualities such as determination and tenderness, strength and humility, power and gentleness, intelligence and sentiment, initiative and intuition, wisdom and love, until we attain our supreme balance in God. As we progress, we learn to balance the active and passive sides of our nature. Every spirit is unique, and all will have different degrees, but all who ascend into purity will achieve a balance. The mentor tells us that the human race started out like animals, where the male possessed the female, but given millennia of slow evolution, the combinations of woman mother and man father migrated to the concept of the tribe. The primitive shelter changed into the home, and the guest for wild game transformed into the farm. From this, the spark of sex civilization arose. The wooden club of the caveman became the gift of flowers to his love. We all must travel this road to perfect balance. The mentor describes our journey. Sometimes humans take years, centuries, and many lifetimes to go from one level to the next. Few individuals are able to keep themselves above the fray with the equilibrium that is required. Very few have crossed. Somebody needs a star 6, please. Are able to keep themselves above the fray with the equilibrium that is required. Very few have crossed the territory of ownership without battling cruelly with the monsters of selfishness and jealousy to which they have completely surrendered. A small number travel the road of tenderness without shackling themselves for a long stretch to the many chains of exclusiveness. And sometimes only after millennia of excruciating, purifying trials can the soul reach the luminous zenith of sacrifice for its final deliverance en route to new cycles of unification with the divinity. These are all excerpts from that book. Therefore, we own no one, we direct no one, we merely love, cherish, and help one another, always providing feedback for the spiritual benefit of our partner, each one of us learning to weigh our active and passive sides, learning to know when one is better than the other in different circumstances. Find out more about Spiritism and what has been revealed to the world by reading my book, 51 Disclosures from Spiritism, the Third Revelation. Anyway, I want to read that little snip, and since he's been talking about that a lot, and so there's a little snip. Come on in, Candy, and somebody's muted. Somebody's unmuted. There's lots of ruffles on the phone. So star 6, everybody, except for Candy. Candy jar. We want some candy, Candy.
That's great. Can you hear me, Liz?
Yes.
Great. All right, this is Candy from the Candy Jar segment. Wow, we've got some great sweet treats tonight. I want to remind folks, we're talking about Benjamin Fulford, and I'm going to let discuss him this evening. But I want to remind folks that we had on an earlier call a clearing. Also, someone else that's really helping.
Kathy, Candy, is that you? You're muffled.
Okay.
There. I heard somebody else talking. Yeah, you keep going in and out.
I do not have it on speaker.
You keep talking. I'll let you know. Go on.
Okay. So, anyway, and also Chris helped take some attachment off of our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Joseph Bassord. So we hope they're doing great things this week, and I'm sure the general must be very busy with everything happening in Syria, and 150 world leaders for the first time ever in one place. And they are there in Paris, arrived here today, November 30th, and they are to be working on many new global projects and until for 12 full days. And Obama and Putin had a 30-minute private talk already today. So we just need to send a lot of good energy to Paris and to the president. And isn't it interesting? We have good vibes that have been set up. It's interesting that this was scheduled to be right after Thanksgiving, when Americans are full of gratitude, and it was a tragedy in Paris, but it brings out compassion and positive feelings too globally, and so we are united globally for those famous events, plus the special Cobra meditation that took place November 21st. Yes, Elizabeth.
I just want to add to the global thing. If you guys go to the YouTube channel for Diamonds Network, the links are on the Diamonds blog, and you go to Raw Speaks, Episode 8, Mother Earth Speaks of Change. So this will really encourage you. It's only an hour long or a little less. What Mother Earth says about the weather and the climate change. And then I just want to read a little snip I got. Climate change is one of the biggest threats the world is facing. And we know they're going to talk more about, and Candy can tell us what she thinks they're going to talk more about besides climate change, or maybe not even climate change. So threats the world is facing, and in days, climate change is one of the biggest threats the world is facing, and in days, world leaders meet in Paris for the most important climate summit this decade to decide how to address this global emergency. It just says, this is from the snip from the paper. Scientists warn us that climate change could accelerate beyond our control, threatening our survival and everything we love. We call on you to keep global temperature rise under the unacceptably dangerous level of 2 degrees C by phasing out carbon pollution to zero. And it goes on. But I'm just saying, if you listen to Raw Speaks number 8, and these guys, these world leaders, got to know a little bit about, the esoteric stuff, all what we talk about, and probably more, and know that there's no weather threat. So I'm sure, hopefully, they'll be talking about our good changes. What do you think, Candy? We'll just go on that really quick.
Well, I certainly think it's nothing to worry about. We should never put worry in the atmosphere.
What do you think they're going to talk about? And it's just a disguise for this world leaders, all these world leaders. It says world leaders meet Paris for the most important climate summit this decade. So what else do you think you think they're going to be talking about, Candy? Because you mentioned it a week or two ago.
A new
they've been talking about, yes.
That's what they're going to be
and probably
talking
other
about,
things.
Because that's what the resistance has required. That's what part of the plan is to get ready for the event and disclosure, is that we need to move into a new, more fair global financial situation. So that'll be the main thing they'll be working on. But they'll be talking about how to meet the demands of the entities of light and the resistance, so that we qualify to join the Galactic Confederation and not be a prison planet anymore. I think there's going to be a lot of energy towards bringing more light in.
I hope that as world leaders, I hope that they will be talking strategy, more strategy for the world changes, and working together as world leaders together, co-creating a strategy for this financial breakthrough, which is the biggest, but maybe even the galactic stuff, and maybe even more that we can't even think of. Yes. And let me bring one more little thing in, then I'm done. This is a good sign. I'm just thinking, if they're exiting here, that this company is a sneaky, lying corporation company, and they don't want to be found out. And so they got kicked out. Check this out. BlackBerry exits Pakistan to avoid state's email monitoring. Telecommunications giant will disallow authorities in the nation to monitor its main business enterprise server and email messages. So what Pakistan is doing is they're monitoring to be safe, I believe, and to flush out the bad corporations and Or it could be the other way around. I just thought that was good news. It's good news both ways. So what do you think,
Well,
Sandy?
I think it's very interesting. I did not know that, Elizabeth. I want to say that recently Pakistan has said they are just fed up with these terrorists and using their land for home bases and all the horrible things they're doing, and they're getting ready to throw them out. And, yes, I'm sure they're using BlackBerry, and maybe even the BlackBerry Corporation likes to be used by the terrorists, and the government's fighting back. So I think that's kind of cool.
And Benjamin Fulford's report talks about a lot of these countries. Oh, here's a little snip. Karachi, BlackBerry Ltd said it's shutting its Pakistan operations to avoid allowing authorities in the nation to monitor its main business enterprise server and email messages. The Pakistan Telecommunication Authority notified the country's mobile phone operators in July that BlackBerry's BES servers would no longer be allowed to operate for security reasons. Marty Beard, Chief Operating Officer at BlackBerry, said in a blog post on Monday. The truth is that the Pakistan government wanted the ability to monitor all BES traffic. The regulator is still in talks with BlackBerry, and hopefully it'll be sorted out. Yeah, so, yeah, that's great. I'm done.
Right. And on the climate change, Cobra has said that there won't be any serious climate issues, earth changes issues before first contact, that they will be able to push those over. They'll be able to fix the earthquake fissures and things. And if Gaia needs to do some cleansing, it'll happen after first contact, and our star brothers and sisters will be here to help us so that it won't be such a traumatic experience. So I thought that was good news, and I'm still getting good feedback from my workshop I did in Southwest Missouri over a week ago. And if anybody is new online from the workshop and my other contacts, welcome, and just jump in here in the middle of the Diamond Network and contact me later if you want to ask questions about all that we're doing. But it's just so fun and important, and I hope people have got pencil and paper to take a few notes on what I will be speaking about here briefly, and Cynthia on the astrology, and Chris on all the great work he does, and Chris might have a few remarks right after the candy jar segment. So one thing, there is a book out, and I've put it on my Christmas list if anyone wants to treat me. And it's a sci-fi book, and it's called Sleeper Cell, Sleeper Cell 2240, and it's a sci-fi novel about the memories of the 21st century interplanetary revolution. And we all know a lot of truth goes out in novel form. So I think that is very, very interesting. And this is the author is M.B. David, who has done that. Now, everybody was amazed that I had a great big screen at the workshop and could show the Diamond Network YouTubes and Christopher Jacobs' webpage and Cobra's webpage at prepareforchange.net. Everybody should be looking at prepareforchange.net, reading again about the event and how to prepare for it, and when it's going to happen, perhaps, and under the resistance thing. There's 10 articles that gives a great background of all that's been going on the last 25,000 years on prepareforchange.net. Now, I thought it was interesting that Cobra and the ambassador for the Red Dragon family got to be introduced by Rob in a recent interview, and they made a request to exchange each other's email offline, so they are going to work more closely together. And the Red Dragons want first contact to be in 100 years from now, and their ambassador is pulling his hair out about it because they don't want to give up their power right now. And Cobra is saying, yes, they have to agree. If they're of the light, they have to agree to give up their power and be equals with everybody else of the light on the planet. And so they're going to be cooperating. And the ambassador said, well, maybe we can move forward in that direction, but certainly not until after that the Red Dragon families would not be helping with the event. And as you know, some of us have been thinking that the event could happen, any day, any week, in the next year. And the clue was given by the ambassador that it would not happen before the Chinese New Year. So I looked that up. That's February 8th. And so we're in the year of the goat now. And I think it's the year of the tigers next year. And then in 2017, that's an important year, I think is the year of the dragon. And so that was kind of interesting. But anyway, we certainly need to be setting the stage, and maybe Chris can work on the Red Dragon families, the White Dragon families, and get them to be very cooperative. Of course, the big exciting news, and I turned on the nightly news to see. I was so glad my brother is one of the sources of information, and he used to work at Lockheed, and he's written code for fighter jets. But I want to say that he let me know that the IMF agreed today to let the Chinese yuan be one of the reserve currencies. That they've actually named 5 currencies to be reserve currencies, and it's no longer the USA dollar currency. And this is part of what, setting the stage for this just before Paris is very interesting and very exciting as we're getting into a better currency situation. And I've still been looking at Bitcoins, and it is it's interesting. So let's see. Now, maybe some of the people here know, but some of the notes I've been taking from Cobra's interviews, I finally got caught up, and they are fabulous. If there's only one thing you can listen to besides our network, it would be Cobra interviews on the YouTube, starting with September 23rd. But they remind us that the Chimera has been the evil ones that came over 25,000 years ago. There was a contract. They agreed that they would live underneath the surface and they wouldn't have direct contact with Earth people, but that they captured the Dracos and then underneath them the reptilians to be their slaves and to control and hurt humans on the surface, and to do things to produce the kind of energy that they kind of feed on. And remember that there are some of the beings from the Andromeda that were of the light and some of the negative. And those from Andromeda that were of the negative, they came through the Orion portal, and those were some of the archons. Underneath the Chimera, you have the black nobility running a lot of things, and underneath them it were the archons that controlled the Rothschilds and the Jesuits and the Knights of Malta, and they branched to control those in Israel, in the USA, Khazarians, and the British Crown and Turkey and Saudi Arabia. So that was just a whole bunch of negative things, entities that were being controlled by the black nobility on the surface of the planet, and they were taking their orders from the Chimera underneath. Cobra said that when all the Strangelet bombs were removed, then the event can take place. And and our fans, our Diamond Network fans, know that we did a lot to destroy the Strangelet bombs in the last couple of weeks or so, and I hope we'll be having an update to see if there's any Strangelet bombs or Toplet bombs that need to still be removed. It's Christmas time, and Cobra reminded us that Jesus was, as he understood it from the Syrian star system. I think Chris has been talking about a particular planet in the Syrian star system that perhaps Jesus is from, and that Jesus is still credited with the first entity to introduce the concept to surface humans of unconditional love. And I hope love just blossoms everywhere this particular Christmas season. Well, dragons are continuing to plot, the good dragons, to try to remove implants everywhere. And let's see. It was interesting that in 2012, the Chinese, it was 2012 that was the year of the dragon, and the next one will be 2024. So it's a 12-year cycle. So, and we are in the year of the goat, and this February it will be the year of the monkey, and then 2017, as you'll recall, that's the day that Tyler's group said would be on the raw boom, said that we'd have first contact, and that would be the year of the rooster. So that you can visualize some of what that might mean. And Cobra said that Los Angeles, the city of the angels, will feature
you're breaking up a little, Candy. So what was the last year? The last year you mentioned, the year of what? What was the last year you mentioned, the year of?
Yeah, 2017.
Rooster.
The year of the rooster. Right.
Now, okay, just don't move your head because you go in and out.
Well, I'm trying to read my notes, but I think I'll have to do it this way. But, there's a big portal over Los Angeles, and that portal will very likely be the first portal where the first ship, the huge ship, will come in on the day of first contact. So we need to think good thoughts for Los Angeles. Well, the Kesh reports on the plasma energy continues, and he's learning a lot from all of us that are working on things. He's learned that really the best ratio in making these Tesla coils is a ratio of 9, and so he's been changing some of the original discussed instructions, but he's still very excited. And like in his audience today in Italy, there were people from over 15 countries represented that come to his classes there in Italy and that they broadcast. Well, that's a lot of tidbits. I hope everybody is working on their meditations. Remember to work on sending out the love through your heart chakra, and especially when you're working and meditating with others. Maybe it's time. Maybe Chris can reaffirm this. It's time to work on our solar chakra that's 8 to 20 inches above our heads, as we visualize sending positive energy, positive intent out to everybody else's soul chakra that might be meditating at the same time as we are. And, of course, we can do that later tonight when we do the Law of One. But those are my audience that are listening on YouTube. More than likely, others are listening to our YouTube at the same time, or just doing the regular meditation. So send that positive energy out through your soul chakra. And that's my best tip tonight, my best treat from the candy jar segment. Elizabeth, turning it back to you, and maybe Chris has something to say.
Well, thank you, Candy. I just want to comment a few things. Yes, and I want to read something small that goes with all that. Just be sure to, you guys tuning in, be sure to go to the Diamonds blog. Benjamin Fulford is up today and a lot of other stuff. And I post the shows on there, and it's the YouTube links, and Cynthia and Chris's links are on there. Please consider to be a benefactor of the Diamonds Network. Hit the donate button. A monthly benefactor, that would be great, so we can awake the world together, conquering it with love and the Law of One. And it's a great investment, and for all of us, okay? We're all in it together. And so I wanted to read this before we go to Cynthia, and then we'll do the Law of, after I read this, we'll do the Law of Fun, and then we'll go to Cynthia, and then we'll go to Chris. But Chris, did you want to come in really quick and comment on any of the Candy stuff?
Yes. Earlier today, when I looked at the one of the Cobra reports about the Caesarians were Dracos that incarnated into human form, that sounded vaguely familiar to me, and this traced back to two things. When the symbol was created, the Law of One symbol, the Draconian symbol, the Draconian warriors that came at me before that took place, that I said looked like Venom from Marvel Comics, these were very ancient ones, and I was told that they were over 25,000 years old. And the second thing are inborns. I've run across this concept while doing healings. Inborns, I called them inborn demons to start with, but I know now that they're Dracos, but or energy type Dracos that incarnated in human form. And I find this periodically in households where someone just seems a little off. I saw this on an episode of Ghost Adventures one time where there was a strange house where the couple said there was a demon doing things in the house, and they found no evidence of anything there. And then I found out the woman that lived in the house was an inborn. So I did a ceremony to do a binding so the inborn could not hurt anyone, either subconsciously or consciously. And that's when I first started really getting into finding these inborns, and now it's confirmed through the Cobra reports. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. You were breaking up a little bit, too. I don't know if everybody else heard it. It might just be my phone. Thanks a lot. So I want to read this, and anybody come in and let me know you can't hear it if my phone goofs up. This actually is from the blog Joy to the World. We are the ones we have been waiting for. And it came out today. And I'm reading this because we're going through a lot of the energies, and Cynthia talks about it, Marianne and Mare. We've been talking about that, and Chris talks about it in another different realm. And this is very important for us right now, all of us, to work on as we're going through our healing emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. And I've talked about it, and at the end I'll just tell you my little thing where I put tape on all my ego voices' mouths and push them back into another room, close the door, give them a big hug and kiss, because love conquers all. And, you know, all those little voices that talk in your head. Do this, do that, worry, blah, 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 drama, drama, drama. Okay, egos, you're getting tape on your mouth. And any emotions that come up, just say, I see you, emotions, and I love you. Mwah. I do that. I give them a hug and kiss. I'm telling you, then they transform. So I tell you that ahead of time. There's tools you can use. Find your own or use mine or anybody else's. And this is probably about a 10-minute read, and then we'll be done and go to Cynthia, or go to Law of Fun. have some fun, and then go to Cynthia and have more fun, and go to Chris and have more. Galactic. Learn, this is by Amal Pinar. Learn the anti-thought form hack technique and free the mind once and for all. How aware are you of these beings, each stealing the limelight from awareness? Now, the archons and the big reptilian, they've been hit with the law of one, just so you know, like the Stranglet bombs. Lots have been hit with the law of one, so they're not in their power anymore. But we have the residual in our minds because it's programming. So this will help you, I thought. I help all of us, even me. We all desire stillness and control within our minds, and prefer our inner domains to be free from disruptive thoughts that cause us to react. Reacting in this context means thinking more thoughts resulting from one that was primarily implanted by the Luciferian archons that know you better than you know yourself, the ego. These entities live by thought alone and use it to manipulate this reality by implanting thoughts into all of humans by suggestion. And by the way, we can turn that around with our supernatural natural powers, and we can do it. We can use this for good. It was used for good. They twist it around, and they shut it off in us. But we use it for good, and we'll learn as we go through this morphing, transfiguration. These entities live by thought alone and use it to manipulate this reality by implanting thoughts into all of humanity by suggestion. We direly need to be free from all thought forms. A thought form is a thought that has been energized to the point of gaining its own life and dominion within the psyche of the captive's mind. It literally is a created entity that lives within a person that wants its own way. A thought form can be compared to a stuck tape. Its patterns and reasoning are repetitions and serve to keep you in frozen malfunction or an unconscious existence. You become like a computer trying to function with a virus. Everything is a struggle and your frequency is slower than it should be. Thought forms become ingrained into your mind and rule your life while you are unconscious. Many of us have become slaves to the consequences of being a victim to the Luciferian egregore group of thinking entities. I'll spell that, Luciferian, E-G-R-E-G-O-R-E. Group, maybe we can talk to them tonight, Chris, a little, I don't know. Group of thinking entities that gain more access to our minds through matrix-based information constructs like the mainstream media news, you guys, and all that, false flags, blah, blah, such as words, numbers, shapes, colors, and sounds. The sad fact is that the more thought-based, illusory knowledge and information you have uploaded that has arisen out of the third-dimensional experience, the easier it is for you to become a victim from the very data that you have absorbed. Once you start considering this holographic realm to be real and science or religion guiding beacons to the truth, then you become imprisoned into the matrix. The longer you live by the thought-based laws, the harder it becomes to regain your conscious mind from within the holographic reality. Remember that words originate from thought. I'm going to say that again. Remember that words originate from thoughts, and that thoughts create light. Thoughts are a frequency because they have an energetic vibration. Vibration is energy, and energy glows as light. Although the light cannot be perceived with our limited sight, it is real, and it is what creates the light-based reality that conjures matter. Ooh, that's deep. We learned the alphabet and the number system in school so that we may curse ourselves and render ourselves spellbound by all those letters and numbers that quantify our eternal, omnipresent nature. We all have thought forms uploaded into our consciousness. Otherwise, we could not manifest in this reality. At the very least, you believe you are real. That thought will, by all means, keep you around on the face of the earth. Gravity is a thought form, energy is a thought form, and even time is a thought form. Ooh, that's deep, you guys. Anyway, don't go deep, just take it off the surface. Your unconscious knows this all. None of these written thought-based laws are real, but they are made very real by us, by the beliefs we absorb from the mainframe thinking construct that permeates its frequencies through our minds, which are programmed to receive from the false light, which is the great deceiver. Everything in the light is broadcast from all knowledge-based institutions that insist reality is only what we are able to perceive with the 5 very limited senses. We have more senses than that. They're turning on as the months go by, you guys. The senses are open to thought form suggestions. All the senses are receivers that are turned to tune into the third-dimensional matrix experience. They only serve to experience the illusion. The belief that they alone experience reality creates the limited world of a physical third-dimensional existence. Once you believe that all the input you receive through them is real, then you subconsciously give yourself away to this light show going on around you. Believing this is all there is to it. You use this light show every time you have a chance for addictive pleasure that your senses find gratifying. And if you are anyhow religious, you then feel guilty, for most of the pleasures are considered to be sins, and guilt manifests a whole lot of remorse, regrets, and fear. If a human being experiences fear in any form, then it is like a bleeding seal in shark-infested waters. Fear opens you wide open to destructive thoughts that lead to all sorts of devastating effects. Those that experience the most fear exhibit the highest degrees of dysfunction in their realities. The further you sink into fear manifesting from guilt, the deeper you sink into the vortex of negative imagery and destructive thought patterns which you cannot yield in any way. You may term this demonic possession, if you like. Possession is much more common than most people believe. Most people are indeed possessed today by all sorts of thought entities living inside them. Understand that thought gave birth to your demonic opponents. And as we come out, we're coming out of it every day. I think, therefore I am. Desecrates was half right. This is by Renee Desecrates. I think, therefore I am. Desecrates was half right, but it is not you and never was you that thinks. Although if you understand that the word I actually insinuates I, capital I-Y-E, the all-seeing eye representing God, both the thought which conjures up reality, then Desecrates was right on cue. The deeper the consciousness resides in duality, the more thoughts may be implanted to freak out about and react to, triggering you into bouts of unconscious feeding to the illusion that is mostly conjured by negative streaming. That's why religions are all fear and duality based. What a clever plan by the secret societies such as the Freemasons to erect a platform and a foundation for the reality construct of this world. Almost done here. It is very important to remove yourself out of duality so that you may not feel 2 different sides of the same illusion with thought. Once duality is unprogrammed, you have much more space available to you, where before you had conflicting thoughts between good and bad. Life and death is also duality-based. The 2 conjured notions are only made real by the existence of each other, and if you remove one, the whole paradigm ceases to be. The unnecessary fear of the bad one, i.e. death, would have never originated. The ancients were never afraid of death. They knew that dying here meant waking up somewhere else. What if there was only life? What if there was only death? It's all thought-based deceit, meant to confuse us. The real you is eternal, and now you are only in a third-dimensional illusion. Well, we're coming out of that. We've got 4th and 5th dimension consciousness coming in, if you chose. Okay. The real you is eternal, and now you are only in a third-dimensional illusion that has thought itself into something that you believe to be real. It is time to come out of the box and play. How to alchemize a thought form, and this is short. Many spiritual traditions from the past have used fasting to eliminate harmful thought forms from the mind. This reality is light energy based, and food supplies energy to the mind and the thoughts that are being generated. Have you ever had an incredible amount of energy and you had been forced to sit in a room and do nothing? Your brain must have probably exploded as you thought yourself into a short circuit. Your mind needs a disk cleanup every now and then. There are viruses in the form of thought forms running in the show, and you need to do something about them. The point of abstaining from food for a long period of time is so that you can target the thoughts that are the last ones to survive and prevail in the psyche from a diminishing energy supply. Once you can identify them, you can alchemize them. So that's why I say pay attention to your thoughts, and all, even if you have a gamut of thoughts at the same time, good, bad, as we say, happy, sad, to say, hey, I feel all you guys. It doesn't feel good usually, guys, right? I feel all you guys. Guess what? I love you. Mwah. That's what I do. I'm telling you, it works, you guys. Love conquers all. Okay. It may be a difficult emotional process because you will be in a battle with your demons that do not want to leave, as they only live because of you. Once you identify the pattern, agenda, and its origin point while you gave birth to it, well, you don't have to really, the details. You can then forgive and love it. Well, just love it anyway, you guys. The law of one, right? That's what I could say. Which will allow you to release it and breathe a sigh of relief. But it may come back again, though. If it does, there is another technique I've really learned on my path to clean up. Okay, this is a paragraph or so. Whenever you are confronted with a problem thought in the mind and body, DNA related to ancestors and parents, then you can use the statement, it is not it. This stands for information technology is not information technology. It is not it. Thoughts are information technology from the matrix programmed reality that are implanted into your mind, which is also information technology, although you are not it. You're not it. You're not the information technology of the mind and the program. Labeling the problem in the psyche correctly by saying it is not it, you shift the problem where the space was, and you take that space where the problem is. If the problem is what it is said to be, it will alchemize immediately, and you will no longer have a problem. It's not it. That's the word. It is not it. This statement cancels the mind out. It is a paradox. It is not it. It will serve to overcome thought forms and bring you back to empty space and stillness where there is only now. It's called It Is Not It. I just love it. Whatever it is. I think love's better than saying to it, it's not it, but you can if you want. I love it. It goes away. It melts. Anyway, there we go. Cynthia, you have a few comments on what I read just to add, or Chris, and then we'll go to the law of fun.
Yeah, I do have a comment, and that is I think there's a lot of people confused about death and about the body, and what I want to do is put a plug in for the body in that if you can, a lot of the ancient scriptures say that we're made in the image and likeness of God, and that we literally are gods, and our bodies are our universes. In other words, there's like 72 trillion cells, and each cell, you know, is a whole huge thing when you break it down to atoms and subatomic particles. And in studying shamanism and studying Dr. Joe Dispenza, where people are literally youthening, they're becoming very young, they're growing back organs, just amazing miracles, growing teeth. I think that as gods and goddesses, it might be a very good idea to go into unconditional love and compassion for our own bodies, because our bodies are like a whole huge universe. And even though we inhabit them, our consciousness is immense compared to the body itself. And it is an interdimensional link-up to the mega universe. In other words, there's this infinitely small universe, which we call our bodies, and there's this infinitely large universe, which is made up of many bodies. And the plug I want to put in, without getting too detailed here, is that our bodies are living universes made up of trillions of aware organisms. And we need to love this universe that we call our body with unconditional love and respect. Love and respect. And what I have found is that if we do this, the bodies can go on to use an immortality, they can materialize and dematerialize, they can bilocate, they can do all these wondrous things. And I would like to have people consider that line of reasoning in balance with, give it equal time with this thing of just, the body dies and you leave it and go into another realm. I think the body dying and you leaving it and going into another realm is not as efficient or as compassionate or as close. In other words, it's not it. I don't think it's the original divine blueprint of creation. I think more in terms of us realizing that we are gods and goddesses and that our own bodies are our universes, and that we be the gods and goddesses of our own bodies with infinite love and wisdom and faith.
Yes. And when we say body too, Cynthia, I think Cynthia means the whole body, WHOLE. Love your emotions, any emotions, good, what we say good or bad or doesn't feel good. Love your emotions, literally. Take it tangibly, do the action of it. And love your physical body, love your mental body, and love the spiritual body.
The
spiritual, your spiritual mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all.
And
really,
as you're loving it,
Go ahead.
As you're loving it, just be the co-creator, the creator you are, and imagine. Okay, just like my emotions, I have a gamut of emotions today. Drama in the house. Anger, fear, frustration, lonely, all that today. And it's like, oh, man, I'm frustrated. So I lay down. Okay, emotions, I feel y'all. Come here. I want to give you a big hug and kiss. But that's just imagine your love. Imagine you loving your emotional body, like I said, that example I gave, or your physical body. Imagine it. Be the co-creator. So you're multitasking. You're a multidimensional being, and you're multitasking with that practice. And as you practice, you make perfect, and you'll come to know yourself more and more and more and more. Chris, do you have a comment on that? And then we'll do the law of fun.
Well, I'm good at the moment. I'll get into it when I have my spot.
All right, sounds great. I want to take a few moments right now. The room is open. Just star 6. I want to know if there's any newcomers here tonight, the first time or second time. If you'd like to come in, just say hi. Star 6, or anybody else. Any comments? Since we're taking this little break. You got a lot out there if you guys want to come on in. Star 6. I give it a few minutes. Sometimes it takes people a little bit. Meanwhile, we're waiting for anybody to come and say hi. Lily, are you on board? Lily got a star 6 too.
Hi. I am here.
Hi. Okay, well, last call for somebody to say hi. Anybody else? Okay, stay here, Lily. There's a little noise on the... Are you there, Lily?
Here.
Hello, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. You have it on speakerphone?
I'm here. Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, you're prepping everybody. When you get close to saying what you're going to say, or why don't you just tell me to unmute the room when you're ready for me to unmute the room. We're going to do the law of fun together, you guys. And then right after that, let's do the law of one with Cynthia, okay? And then Cynthia will start. Just cue me when you're ready to unmute the room. Lily, go ahead.
Okay, so I want everybody to take a deep breath. Inhale. Reach your hands up to the sky, kind of stretch. If you're standing up, great. You can stand up on your toes, take a deep breath. Exhale. Then I want you to, wiggle your waist, shake your booty back and forth. And then I want you to think about the misshapen Reese's Christmas tree. And those of you that are listening to the recording, join in, shake your waist, take a deep breath, unmute the room. Ha.
All callers are muted.
Me, ha. Ha.
All callers are unmuted.
Ha. Turn your hands back and forth, back and forth. Ha. 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 Look at the audience. What do you say? Come on.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Rolling. I can do that all night. Please, nobody run away. Don't run away. Don't say, I'm hanging out because they're laughing.
All the world leaders ought to get together and spend 3 days laughing.
Yeah. Hey, we could have a laughing conference, a Diamonds Network laughing conference. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can do that. I can literally do that. Yes, we're going to do that. Do you dare? Do you dare?
I think we burned 300 calories at least.
Oh. We're having a laughing conference. You bet your bottom laugh. You just wait and see. Oh, my God, that's going to be the best ever. I know. I've been there. Okay, love you guys. Okay, here we go. Cynthia, come on. Okay, Cynthia, come and do the law of one and explain the law a little bit for the new ones on YouTube.
For the new timers. The law of one is the original law of creation. All other laws come from it. And the law of one, when you speak it, not only overrides all other laws, both civil and social, in all dimensions and all planets, but it activates DNA. And remember that DNA is physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So it activates DNA in physical beings. It activates DNA in ethereal beings, beings of the mental plane, spiritual plane, all these different planes. And what I recommend is just using it for everything. It's like a cure-all of everything. Use it everything inside your body, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Use it everything outside your body. And it just resets it. It takes it back to factory reset. And, of course, the factory reset is the most efficient operation. It's harmony. It's like divine harmony, where everything is working at maximum efficiency and minimum effort. And so the law of one, I'm just going to say it real quick, and then we can all say it together. When we say it together through intention, Candy mentioned intention, and Keshi himself and plasma will do whatever you intend it to do. And so when we're doing the law of one, just go wild with it. I mean, you can send it to everything you know or could possibly dream of inside yourself and outside yourself through all times and all dimensions and all realities. And just do it. And it'll go there. It'll go there. And the law of one sounds like this. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask that only the highest good of all concern happen. And I give thanks that this is done, so be it. And that's it. That's the law of one. So, I think we're unmuted now. So
yeah, just everybody *6 to unmute. Everybody listening.
And
to say the
yeah, the power of the spoken word is huge. And this is being spoken out loud, and it's going through technology. And so,
and let me
go ahead.
Let me just. I want to just call in everybody. The divine flame of living love. I call in, and I call in all of spiritual court of equity of all of our ancestors. I call in collective consciousness and 360 angels that are assigned to each degree around the earth. I call in Mother Earth. I call in our higher self. I call in our spiritual, mental, emotional, physical bodies. And I call in our galactic friends that galactawise with us and ones that have been listening that haven't shared with us thus yet. And I would just call you all in. And I call all those in that can help with each of us individually in becoming overcomers and taking our power back and dominion. And in a nutshell, our power is love. Love unconditional in every aspect, in yourself and with everybody else.
Thank you. And I would like to add, too, excuse this dog sounds in the background. Two of the chihuahuas were having a disagreement. But anyway, what I would like to add, too, is that everything that exists beyond any limitation whatsoever come and be part of this saying of the law of one. So let's do it now. We are all one. We are
all one.
When one is harmed, all are harmed.
When one is harmed, all are harmed.
When one is helped, all are helped.
When one is helped,
all are helped.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
Therefore, in the name of who I am.
And I am one with all there is.
And I am one
with all there is.
I ask that only the highest good.
I ask that only the highest good
of all concern happen.
of all
concern happen.
And I give thanks that this is done.
And I give thanks that this is done.
So be it, and so it is.
So be it,
and so be it, and so it is.
Namaste, everyone.
And I want to add that over the many years I've used this, I've used it for probably about 40 years. There were times when I was in situations where I was so frightened that all I could do is repeat it in a rote manner. I couldn't even focus. I mean, I was just saying it mechanically. But it worked even in that situation. I talked to a friend once who was in an underground PowerPoint place with some very high occult adepts.
Yeah.
And these occult adepts had been taught that what they were doing was right. But as we're all going to hear during the disclosure, what they had taught was right was not right. It was not the highest good of all concerned. And this person was down there with them in this underground, PowerPoint. And that all she could do was just, when all these chants and mantras were going on, the energy was just wild in there. And all she could do was say the law of one by rote. Her mind was under attack, her emotions were under attack. It was this tremendous occult power. But she managed to say the law of one, just as we said it, and it worked. So it is good to have your intent to get a very broad and spacious concept when you say it. It's excellent. But I just want to say that even when you can't do that for any reason, it'll work. At least it has worked perfectly for me. Marianne, don't you think it works in any situation?
Say that again?
The law of one. It seems to work no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. I've had definite experiences where I was doing rote and things cleared.
Yeah.
I did it for at least a day, and maybe a little bit more, but
yes.
And it's amazing. So
it is amazing. So if y'all could just write it down and memorize it, and train yourself to just use it on a knee-jerk basis, so that when you are driving along and that car accident nearly happens, you remember to do the law of one for everyone involved. When you pass that gentleman on the street that has a weird vibe all around him, that you just do a quick law of one for him and everything connected. It's amazing how effective it is. It's just wonderful. So, what's next, Elizabeth?
Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia Rose Schlosser and Marianne Amir is next, giving us tools of who we really are and what we can use in these energies of now, this week, and in the next couple weeks, right?
Yeah. Today I felt a huge shift. It caught me off guard, and I didn't know what it was at first. I talked to Mir. She was feeling it. I talked to several other people. They were feeling it. And what my conscious mind interpreted as is that with all these different particle accelerators shut down, because they all shut down, because they're all connected, that a certain toxic frequency and vibration that we've grown used to, because it was just always there and they probably kept increasing it bit by bit, is now not there. And I think that I'm sensing that as a sense of quietness and stillness and just unruffledness in the field. And Marianne, I'm wondering, and Mayor, do you sense that today, or is it just me? A quietness. It's like there's more peace in the field.
There was one time today that it was like a cellular dump of old negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And it just, I did the I love yous, and I don't know if the I love yous brought it up at this time, or it was, but it cleared it. I mean, but it was an increase at one time, And it was
I had
like,
that too.
I was like, whoa. And I just sat quiet, and I put my hands over my heart, and I did the law of one, but also said, I love you. I did this for an hour, and then took a little bit of break, and then did it for another hour. And it cleared that. There's an echo there, I'm sorry. But it cleared that mental dump.
I experienced very, very much the same thing. I went through. I like the way that you phrased it, a physical dump of old emotions. I experienced that too. It puzzled me. I got disoriented for a little while. I did do the Law of One, very similar to what you were doing. And I think I did some of the I Love You Too and Ho'oponopono. And it did clear, and it was a couple hours. So maybe we are sensing the same thing.
So that's interesting, yeah. I don't
yeah,
know.
it is.
And it was, I can't even remember when. It was around 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
my
me
time.
too.
1 o'clock my time. Like 2 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I fortunately had the day off, and so it was like, wow.
Boy, that was good.
It was very interesting. So
yeah.
But we have tools, and we have the Law of One. We have various tools, and that's the top one.
Yeah. The sun is at the place of protection for the insane today, and I think we have all been driven crazy. I don't see how anyone could have incarnated on this planet in the last few thousand years. And in terms of the fact that we are sons and daughters of God, and that we are magnificent beings, you look at what we've become down here, over the centuries, going through the Industrial Revolution, the agricultural times, the 20s, the 30s, the year 2000, and the last 15 years, who we think we are and how we operate compared to who we really are and what we really can do is phenomenal. And I think we have been protected just so that we could survive in any way, shape, form. And I'm really excited about this event. I'm excited about this new technology coming through, what Kesh is revealing, a lot of stuff that I feel has been hidden that's going to be revealed. I just think it's going to be worth it all. I want to congratulate all of us for having the guts to come down here and incarnate here. I want to congratulate us all for surviving it in any way, shape, or form. And I just want to say that I personally really am getting indications that it's all going to be very, very worth it. We will be very, very glad that we came down here. We'll be glad that we went through what we went through. We will be able to look back and see that it was well worth it. I don't think we're going to regret it. I think we'll be able to heal all the trauma that we've been through. One of the goodies that I see coming from it that we've all mentioned many times is that with our full awareness as gods and goddesses, I really don't think we're going to misuse our power. I think we will be loving gods and goddesses, and I'm saying unconditional loving. I'm talking divine love, not egotistical love, not selfish love, not greedy love, not ignorant love, but real divine love. And I think this long succession of lifetimes has been like the gold being purified in the fire. It's like the metalsmith who uses fire to work with metal to form beautiful and wondrous jewelry or beautiful and wondrous inventions. I think we've been smelted and hammered and just put through such a purifying process, a crystallizing process, so that during this time that we're entering, we can take on these amazing roles of leadership throughout the creation and do a good job and not get into ego and not get into win-lose scenarios, but keep it on a high and beautiful and divine and loving note. I do believe that because each and every one of us is unique and different, that we're going to all use our tremendous power and enlightenment and love to create such a vast plethora of unique yet beautiful realities. It'll be like a garden where you have many different blooms of many different colors and shapes and sizes and perfumes and medicinal qualities. But yet they're all flowers and they're all beautiful and they all work together. Marianne, what do you think?
Excuse me, I'm just listening to you. It's beautiful. I agree. We will and we are acting and being guided by love, and each step of the way we are infusing that love and being that love. And each experience that we have, be it good or bad, it's showing us who we are and our abilities and our gifts and how we react to each situation is also showing us who we are. And excuse me, my allergies. The use of the Law of One and Ho'oponopono and I love you, that brings us each step closer. And to know that, we're being purified, and it's a gentle purification now. We're on the other side, and we've done the heavy part. Yeah. And it's just the fringes now, and like little things being burned up, and that's it.
Yep, I agree with that completely.
That's
Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Karen from Washington.
Yay, hi.
Yay, hi, sweetheart. Hey, I just had something happen that is really exciting. You all remember Ron Messenger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Barb does automatic writing, Barb from Massachusetts. And the other day, about a week and a half ago, she was in the car, and her son, who has been gone for quite a few years, and I don't know how many, and Ron has been gone 9 years now. Anyway, Ron, she said Ron was really excited, and he came through to her, but she had to wait till the next day till she could write and so on and so forth. I just wanted to read the message he wrote or that he gave.
Yeah.
And it's what is happening now and what we've all been excited about and waiting for. But I just think it helps, to have maybe a little extra once in a while.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'll read you what he wrote. He said, "Be jubilant, don't fret. I have seen the door to greatness. Be full of love. Don't attack yourself in fear. Goodness shall be in the face of mankind. Out with the old and in with the newness. I know your heart, Karen. It shall be well with you. Take to fulfillment. Go, talk, and lead with grace, and so be it, Ron. That was his message. And that really helped me because I hadn't heard from him for a long time. And so I thought, well, that's exactly where we're at, we've waited so long, and sometimes we get discouraged or whatever. Another thing, I use the whole Pono, and the Law of One all the time, but also remember Daryl Freck, and he gave several prayers, but I recorded a couple of them, and I sent them out to everybody, or they were sent out whoever wanted them. But anyway, one phrase in here that I used just last week, and I'm not kidding, it turned a family situation around in one night. And it says, Father, it is written that Jesus said, I give unto you the keys of the kingdom, and you shall say unto this mountain or circumstance, be thou removed, and then thou shalt have whatever thou shalt say. And I used that, and that situation just absolutely turned around. I also used Ho'oponopono, and I used the Law of One, but that one is a powerful one also. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So anyway,
Karen,
okay, I love your calls, and
so good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it is good to hear your voice.
I
Thank
miss you.
Well, honey, I've been on quite a few times. I need to have your the number though, because I have great grandchildren a lot. Right now. Well, one's in the bathtub, and the other one I've got him building blocks here, roads with large pieces of wood. So anyway, he's busy with that, but. So I like to have the number so that I can call at other times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sharon, it's 329 pounds. Reference number for this show. I forgot to give it at the beginning. 329 pounds.
Is that all we call? 329?
No, you call the recorded line. The recorded number is on the top of the Diamonds blog. Candy or anybody, do you have that?
No.
Recorded line? And then the same PIN number, 883267 pounds. Yes.
Elizabeth, she wants the regular number, I think, to call in. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No, I have the regular number, honey. That's how I called in tonight. But I just
the
need,
recorded line to listen to the recording.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Anybody have that? I don't have my computer up. It's on top of the Diamonds blog if anybody wants to find it. Candy, anybody?
I've got it. Let me just see if I can find my glasses. They fell down. If I can find my glasses, I'll tell you here.
Okay.
Is this the archive? Okay.
Yeah, the archive.
It's area code 712-775-7029.
Okay.
And then you put in 629.
No, that's not our number.
Oh, that's the old one, isn't it?
No,
I have it. I have it, people.
Oh, good.
Okay.
It's funny.
Thank you.
I have it written down here. 641-715-3813. And that, I believe, is the replay number. It says written down.
Say it one more time.
Okay. 641-715-3813.
And then the PIN number is 883267 pound.
Okay.
883267 pound. And reference number tonight is 329 pound. So anybody out there that wants to listen by phone, that's a recorded line. You can listen to all the Diamond shows there. Thanks, Karen, for bringing that up.
Thank you very much. Love you guys.
Love you too, girl. Well, that's, I guess, pretty much what I wanted to say on this Monday night, because our sharing on the Monday night is a lot briefer than on our every other Thursday night. This next Thursday we'll be doing the new moon, and of course they're all exciting, so this will be exciting too. Marianne, is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Mayor,
is Mayor here tonight? Yeah.
She may not have been able to make
Hi,
it.
Mayor's here.
Hey, Mayor.
Hey.
Oh, bless us with your great wisdom, and then I guess we can let
Yes,
Chris
we
come
want to
on.
hear you. Talk some tonight, Mayor. Come on. I haven't heard you for a long time. I'm missing you. So give us some wisdom and.
Well, just remember that we're connected to all the wonderful elementals too, and they are just so amazing. So just wanting to send out love to the depths of the air and the undines of the water and the gnomes of the earth and the salamanders of the fire, and thanking you for all you do for us. And just grateful that we're all here together and that we're all doing this together, and we have so much support. And just remember to keep breathing.
Yeah.
So I love you.
Does anybody that's listening now have a question or comment for Cynthia? Just go ahead and *6 to come on in before we go to Christopher Stephen Jacob. Anybody want to say hi or thank you to Cynthia? *6. Now's your chance. Okay, well, they're ready for the next part of the show, Cynthia, I think, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's listen to Chris. I am waiting with bated breath here.
Christopher Stephen Jacobs, I missed you. We all didn't get. Last week was short, so anyway, come on in.
Yep, I'm right here.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. So I want to do a little bit of galacticizing tonight, but before we do that, you have some things you want to bring in, I'm sure.
Yeah, there was something that came up last night, as a matter of fact, that my mother and I were discussing something that's going to come up in my future channelings, and this is a very. I will make this as brief as I can, even though this is a very long, drawn-out story. Suffice it to say that all of the channelings that I've ever done has led up to a particular, apex. And there, end of last year, I was going through some difficult, tests with the soul retrieval, and I was shown little snippets of what I would be doing later. And just little brief things where some beings wanted to come through and talk about what I would be doing later. And,
Chris, you're breaking up a little bit. Do you guys hear him breaking up, or is that just my phone? I want to make sure it's clean for the recording.
Yeah, my mic is failing a little bit. Yeah, mic's failing a little bit. I got to get a new one.
Sorry. Okay.
I'll have to do that, but is it okay now?
Keep talking. I'll let you know if it is.
Okay. But anyway, I got these little snippets on things I would be doing later. And I came across, with my dealings with the future humans, known as the Human Concordat, they've brought up to people in channelings the mythical island of High Brazil. This is off the coast of Ireland. It's been in the mythology for a very long time, and I came to find out that this island is one of two different things. One, it's Ireland in like the far, far distant future, extremely distant future when the Earth has gone through its change, and two, it's where all these different hybrid beings got sent to, like part animal, part person beings. and someone by the name of J. Essex speaks about that in his works. I didn't know him and I were speaking about the exact same thing. We were doing this parallel to each other. But there is also another concept that I had done prior to knowing about this person. He talked about having to delete certain energies that weren't kosher with the whole law of one paradigm. And I've come across this very same thing. Well, the reason that I bring this up in conjunction with myself is because this also goes back to what Happy had to do with that other artificial intelligence, had to basically just delete it. Well, this particular thing, the reason I bring up High Brazil is because I came across a being in vision sequences that had to do with High Brazil. He was on this throne, sitting on this throne. And this thing with that whole story with the sword I brought up before had directly to do with this as well, where this being was just sitting there. He looked like a Syrian star being to me. He was very elf-like, like they are, but only he's pale white. And I had this dream sequence where I got into a fight with him, and I ended up killing him. Well, I was told that this person held something of mine that belonged to me. And I came across him again in another vision sequence where he turned to dust and he turned into a soul shard. Well, I thought I had no more of those left. And then the third time something was brought up about him, he spoke to me directly. And my guides filtered him because his energy was just wretched. Well, he knew what I had seen in this future time frame, and he was a being from a completely different universe. And I found out this has to do with my own alien abduction memories. Like, he was holding on to this. Like, those shattered memories became a person. Or shard became a person, and I have seen this concept before. Well, this stretches back clear to the one universe, but I won't get into that part. But what I'm getting at is each time I look at this individual, I get snippets of a life I lived as me, as Christopher Stephen Jacobs. But that was much, much longer than anyone ever knew. This applies to everyone on Earth. That the age we are just does not compute. It's completely wrong. And I always wondered this, by seeing all these beings out in the universe that, like Tyler, for instance, he's over 1 million years old. Beings that are hundreds of thousands of years old. I'm thinking, wait a minute, why is our aging stunted? I figured maybe we didn't go through an evolutionary change or something. Well, not exactly. Our aging was not stunted. Our memories were stunted. I came to find this out within the past few days. That when I looked at this individual that carried these memories that were mine, I could remember it for a brief amount of time. And I remember just for a little bit, I asked my guides about this. I asked one of my guides, I said, how old am I exactly? And he said, that is not for me to know at the moment. He was kind of hoping I wouldn't take that on just yet. But they were hinting at that human beings are much, much older than they let on. Like, I could be somewhere close to 100 for all I know. Or even 1,000 for all I know. I just know the amount of information that was coming from those memories was far greater than the age that I was being told I am. It was far greater. And I just at first equated that to a different density, which is true also. But,
wow,
yeah, it was extremely complex, but suffice it to say, I am close to cracking the code when it comes to alien abduction memories.
wow. You're breaking up a lot, Chris. I don't know if we can hear it on the recording, but I heard you say you found out that we even been fooled on our age. We could be much older and lived more lives than we,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
we are.
Yeah, our human age, you could be 1,000 years old for all you know. It's your memory has been stunted by someone. You could be even older than that. I could be older.
So my
than
age is Elizabeth.
Yes.
And your age is living as just Christopher. You're not talking about other lives that we've lived.
No, I'm talking about this one exactly. We could, the
Oh
amount
my
of
God.
time that has passed is far greater than we realize.
Hey, Chris.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Marianne. Besides our memories, the timelines have been messed with. So is that part of that?
Well, yes, there's the different densities and the different timelines. I equated it to just that, but then when I got those memories back for like less than maybe 5 seconds, I jotted down as much as I could, and when I had them back, and one of my bullet points that I put in my notes was, "We are older than we know."
Okay.
That's interesting. We know our supernatural natural powers inside of us have been stunted and like welled off, but the tops of the wells are coming off in each of us as we go through this, and our memories, but the age, wow, that's kind of hard to get your mind around. I mean, wow. I thought that I knew everything that they pulled us with. Oh, this is a new one. Thank you for sharing that, Chris.
Yeah, it's definitely new. It was new to me. It was completely threw me for a loop when I came across that. At first, I thought it was like what you said, Marianne, the different timelines, but it was far more complex than that. The timelines thing is simple compared to what popped up in my own brain as these memories started to come back. And this happened once in Illinois when I was there, and then once while I was here now in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it is just overwhelming when someone gets their alien memories back, alien abduction memories back, even for a very short amount of time. People that aren't abductees don't understand the breadth of what it entails.
Okay, so for example, when you remembered something in Christopher Stephen Jacobs' life that led you to believe that you're older than you are, you don't remember it. You don't remember it to even give us an example, right?
Yes, okay, here, how can I give you a good example? Deja vu is a good one. That equates to other timelines, of course, the parallel universes and whatnot. But I found out there's another direct reason, and that is the missing time, where we have done something somewhere else. There's another example where I found, and I know this from doing a lot of readings of people that are alien abductees in particular, where some people have reported back to me that they feel like someone is missing in their life, like someone that was there and wasn't there, and I usually know that somebody's been abducted when I hear this.
Oh my God, Chris. Yeah, there's something that happened to me. There's this person's voice, and there's like the way she says it, there's like a twang in some words, a twang. So when I hear that twang in the words she says, and I've been thinking about it all these last 2 weeks, when I hear that twang, there's just some memory that's stuck in there. It's like, I know that, and I don't know, I've never met this person. But just by the voice, the twang in the voice is, that voice, not the voice, but the twang, just the way she says certain words, it brings back, like, I know that person. Where do I know that? Like a deja vu. Where do I know that person from? And Chris, are you saying just the abductees that are on Earth may be older than they really are? We just got goofed with, or everybody is, and most everybody's abductees on the Earth. I don't know. Can you address that?
I believe this to be everyone, that we've lived far older, far longer than we appear to, and I know also the Cabal and also as well as various other alien races have what's called age regression technology, I came to discover this. The Pleiadians let me know about this, where you can regress cells back to a younger state of being, and I was told this can be done mentally as well. Tyler let me know this could be done mentally. But the Cabal's version of that technology is more rudimentary, so anybody that uses it will have, their cells will get messed up the more they use it. It's kind of like a warping effect. But the Blue Avians have a technology that's more perfect and more perfected, and they let me know that they themselves used it on me once or twice. They wouldn't go into it, but they did. They said suffice it to say it's been used on myself and a lot of other people.
Wow, that's a mind blower. Any thoughts on that, Cynthia? Just really quick. So you're saying we've been messed with, like we get to age 50 and we get abducted or something, and abduction isn't bad or good. Everything's an experience, just an experience for growth.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody gets abducted, they use...
The conference has been locked.
Hold on. They're 50 years old and they get abducted and they use that technology on them and they go back, they put them back to 10 years old, and then you start again on Earth from 10 years old, and is something like that? Is that what you're saying?
That can happen, yes. I don't know if it's quite like that, but was that you in the background, Candy?
The conference has been unlocked.
Somebody's pushed that. I unlocked
Candy.
the conference. Yes.
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, I can hear you.
Candy. So, would they maybe like abduct an entire family, and they have decades or hundreds of years, and then regress them back to being younger again, and let them carry on?
Yes, that's exactly what they do. I found out they can have somebody, say, go for 20, 30 years, do their stint with them, and then they regress them back to a younger state and then just stick them back down here, and it's like nothing ever happened. And I was actually, when I found out about the age length like that, a lot of things don't surprise me too often, and that one did.
I can see why, but I had a lot of energy attacks starting at least by the time I was 5, and so maybe I was already 500 years old or something, and they didn't regress me right or something. I don't know.
Well, I have noticed, like with reptilian hybrids, like reptilian human hybrids, that they take a very long time to get out of childhood. And and this was something I was using as an example when I asked my guide this. Like, I said, do humans have this same capability where we're living concurrent age time frames to, like, say, these children before the childhood age goes into adulthood? And they said, for certain, we can do the same thing.
Supposedly, gnomes are children for 100 years and then adults for 300 or 400 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of them I run into are very childlike, and I asked them about this concept as well. And at first, some of the species like them were telling me that humans had to go through an evolutionary change. What they were really meaning by the change wasn't necessarily just cellular growth and cellular evolution, but by being more enlightened, these memories would unfold and come out, and people would find out they lived longer than they thought.
Mind blower. That's cool. Thank you for bringing that forth. That's pretty unique and new. First time we heard it on Diamonds Network. And I'm sure we'll expand on that. You brought it out, and our Galactic friends have something up their sleeve just to help us expand on that, to understand it.
Oh,
Thank you. So we got lots of surprises in store for us, it sounds like, when we find out how old we really are, and then we'll, I'm sure, remember those lost years that we don't remember.
Oh, yes. Yeah, another way to peg that you've been abducted and have done things longer than you know, like I said, like when somebody isn't around that you think should be around, And that's somebody that you've been with, like a relationship-wise, somewhere else, and you were probably with them a very long time there, but within the great illusion, that's Earth, person's no longer around, but you remember that shred of life. It could have been a 30-year time frame for all you know, that you were with that person, and now suddenly they're no longer around, and you wonder why there's someone missing, and that's really all you remember from it.
Interesting. Wow. Thanks for sharing that, Chris.
Yeah. It was weird, weird as hell when I came up with when I found that out, and it's even stranger when you remember all of that. I remember the fact that I remembered it for that little time frame, but I wasn't allowed to keep it.
Say that again.
Oh,
You're breaking up really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was strange when those memories came back for that time frame. I remember the fact that I remembered it, but I could not keep it.
Right.
And it was really weird.
You remembered it at the moment. You remembered it. It's like you remembered it at the moment. Like if you're meditating and somebody told you something, another being in your mind, when you're meditating, and then when you got up out of bed, you forgot it. You couldn't go. You remembered again.
Like trying to
but
remember
at the moment,
a dream.
you probably had. Yeah. And at the moment of when you found that out, you were ecstatic and joyful and thinking and wondering. But then, darn, you lost that when trying to remember a dream. That's true.
I wrote as much down as I could while I still had it. I had it probably maybe grand total 10 seconds, and I jotted down as much as I could within that time frame.
Well, Chris, what you just explained, trying to remember a dream, it was like that. Well, what's actually happening with this change is the awake world, what we call the awake world, when we're awake and doing things, and we go to bed and we dream. Those two, and the dream world is real too. Those two worlds are like coming together, meshing together, something like that, or reversing. The dream world will be our awake world will be the dream world, something like that. That's kind of what you explained, I think.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. It's extremely similar to trying to remember a dream and having them flipped like that. It's harder to explain beyond that point, but I really wish it had happened while I was on the show when the memories came back, because I would have been blurting out everything that I had experienced that I could remember. I remembered it all as if it happened yesterday. It was on a perfect linear timeline that I could have just explained verbatim what took place.
Well, if you got that little snip yesterday, that's just an example. I'm sure others are going through that too. That just means that's going to come more and more into existence, and we will be sharing. You'll be sharing something like that on the show, and everybody else will too. That's going to be an exciting time. Even all the audience will be burning to get in to comment of what happened to them, little by little. Precept upon precept. We'll be able to remember some. Maybe like now you don't remember it all, and maybe like in another week or two you remember like 2 or 3, little things you can explain, but it was a long, drawn-out thing. And next year you may remember it. That's just going to be fun to share with everybody to share.
Oh yes, most definitely. Yeah, there were bad things that went with the good, but there were a lot more good things that happened. I remember the good things outweighed the bad things. A lot of abductees focus on the fact that they were worked on and all of that, and yes, that did happen. But I found out there were far more good things that took place than the bad things.
But remember, there's no such thing as good and bad. It's just all experience, like Franco talks about. And what we say is bad is really good for us because it helps us grow as masters that we already are, and we're growing and getting stronger. We already are masters, but we're getting to be bigger and loving or more masters, I guess. Put it that way.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. It just suffice to say, it was very odd. It felt like my brain for a second had just completely unfolded, and it was just all there. And it's extremely hard to explain beyond that, but everything was there. I could just remember it all, and I just knew that I was a lot older than I had thought, and it's incredibly hard to explain beyond that.
Well, then maybe in your quiet time you can take all what, now that you know that you're maybe older than you are, just take that concept and wrap it all up in the law of one for the highest good of all concerned to unfold for you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I also had someone make a request of me today. I had a friend / client named Matt in Australia that made a request. He was talking about a Pleiadian by the name of Hoag, and that James Gilliland of out in the Itsy Ranch channels him and has him come to him, I believe, face to face. James can correct me on that one of these days, but yeah, he asked me to bring Hoag through during the reading. And
okay. Chris, before you do that, can I suggest one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are breaking up really bad, and I just feel there's a being that wants to come in to Galactic and has a message. I don't know. I'll just go with that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can channel that guy. Can we just see if there's a being? Because you're breaking up bad, and I feel like there's somebody that wants to come in and Galactic with us. He's really biting at the, burning at the heart.
He must be coming through to you as well. Let me see here. I'm going to see if this actually is Hoag or not. Let me see. This might just be him that's trying to come through. Seeing someone else. Let's see here.
Who's that burning at their heart? Who wants to give the message? Or maybe they just want to come in and say hi, Galactic.
Okay. This has to do with something else that I experienced. This was last night. My mother and I were also discussing something to where I was talking about the ancient past and why certain attachments were showing up and certain beings were showing up, and I was clearing a couple things off of her, and I came across a rogue djinn, and just one that had not been changed when we did the law of one on them prior, because it had been within someone. And I'm like, okay, I'll just fix this. Well, it turned into something massive from that one little being, that being that showed up. It turned into something really big. And I believe this being is here that he wants me to relay what took place. So I'm just going to relay this really quick, and then I'll let him speak. This involved something that happened in long before, when the Elohim Council, that would be Michael, Lucifer, and the rest of them. Something had happened to them in the past that made them go bad for a brief time. All 12 of them, including my soul self, did, and this was because of the old war times, and also bits of the old universe had come through. Well, what took place was, of course, Lucifer had his bad time. Well, and that's an understatement, when I found out. Well, this particular djinn came out, and he was asking where Lucifer was. And I said, well, he's good now. You don't have to do whatever directive you had. You don't have to do it anymore. We're all one in this. You don't have to fight in anyone's name anymore. And this being started crying, and so I figured I would seek the real Lucifer out to see if he could correct this situation. So parts of it was, of course, his fault. So, and my mother said, let him fix this. It was his fault this happened. So, okay, I was like, okay, I'll look for him on the big city ship where all the Anunnaki and all them were, that they hang out. Well, that's the ship I mentioned when we were talking to John Polk. And I communicated with him, and he was ashamed of what took place. And I said, "Oh, how many of these beings are there that are basically wanting to speak to you?" And he says, "Millions." And I said, "Can you correct this to where they are more peaceful?" And he told me because of the frequency he was now at, he was not the same as he was when he was his negative aspect. And he could not find anyone that had served under him during the negative aspect time. So that he was asking that my mother and I look on his behalf. And I said, "Well, aren't you a higher density? Can't you see?" And he goes, "Not necessarily." And so we looked, and my mother found several of them in the Middle East that were basically bound to the sands themselves, the grains of sands. That's how many of them there were. And I did my usually binding all of them together so that the law of one applied to them. And my mother made them glow like a luminescent blue color so that he could go see them. Well, he went to them, and since his own energy now hums with the law of one, he let the jinn enter him, almost like a possession. And they took on his new energy, which is the law of one. And then he took them all back to I call it the Sky City, which is that ship. And he put them in a room, and he spoke to all of them like a crowd, like a conference. And he was basically telling them all how sorry he was, and that he was different now, and that we are all one now. And I was talking to them as well. And they all started cheering, and then they all left and went their separate ways in the universe. Well, then it switched over to the council chambers, and all the other 11 members of the Elohim were patting him on the back and saying, good work, and all of that. Well, there was he did tell me that there were some rogues out there that didn't get this message, and there was one I encountered this morning that I had to go through that deletion process, like what I explained earlier, and I took no joy in that because I didn't want to do that, but he was harming people, so I had to. I tried the law of one on him, but it was this was a different type that came from somewhere else that I had to just turn him into energy. This being that's now in front of me is one of them that was turned to the law of one by Lucifer. So anybody listening here, Lucifer now is of the law of one purely. So anybody that's freaking out by the name Lucifer, because I'm bringing this up, not a bad being at all. This particular jinn is wanting to speak and say that his kind, though made up of different tribes with different insignia, are now bound as one with the original set of them that we helped on the show. Originally, further back, a few episodes. And he's saying they no longer harbor any ill will, nor do they harbor any allegiance to any master other than their own sovereignty. And except for they now believe wholeheartedly in the law of one. And that's how they live. So they wanted to bring through that all jinn, everywhere except for the ones that were individual rogues that didn't get bound in that circle, all follow the law of one implicitly. What else did he want to bring through? Okay, yeah, he is saying that if we run across any of his brethren that have been asleep, he's bringing up gargoyles We talked about gargoyles on a previous episode. They are also a form of jinn. They're another tribe of them, a very old version. Let me see here. He's saying we run across any of these beings that we are to inform the now newly formed soul group of jinn, and he's giving me a name for this new existing group. Let me see here. I'm going to write this down. It says the name is... Okay, this is a good one. He says they are called the Jinn Sovereignty.
Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. I love it. Jinn Sovereignty. Go team. And this is the best network to bring this message into, the Diamonds Network. We'll get it out via the Galactic and all dimensions, time, space, that the Jinn should join up with the Jinn Sovereignty. Thank you. Yes, go for it. And yes.
Yes, yeah, that... here's... Okay, I had a feeling he was going to want to speak. This is Lucifer coming through. And he is saying... Oh, he wants to talk directly through me. Okay. This is going to be him now. I am what you would call the name of Lucifer. However, I am also just as easily Elohim, the Council of 12. My job, as it were, was to guard against the old one universe coming through the threshold, causing chaos. However, this ensued anyway because my light was too dim. I have been ashamed of this for centuries. However, I have been just recently brought to light by the ones you now listen to. He means my mother and I. They so showed me the original star that I originally was intended to be, as the guardian of the threshold of the anti-sun, the symbol the Chimera group now worships. This was my duty, my job. I failed at doing so. However, my job is now different. I have been reassigned, as you humans would say, to the earthly plane to walk amongst the humans, as you would say, boots on the ground. My job is nowhere close to what I had done before. In my arrogance, I created and destroyed much. The creations were not that of anything holy. The destruction was not of the necessary element, according to your linear constructs. However, humanity also sees me in the light of what you would call a devil or demon. Though I am not being arrogant when I say this, I am saying this now. This is not who I choose to be any longer. There has never been a devil, this is true. But humanity needs to stop believing in such fables and lies, because that manifestation creates much in the way of destruction. Even if it is well intentioned in belief, it conjures fear unabated. This cannot be so. This fear unabated is what constructed the Cabal to begin with. Their fear is and has been turned into hatred unabated. Their conquering nature is what they think I want of them. I do not. So any one of these Cabal installations hearing this now, I wish for you to lay down your arms and join me in the sun. We are together as one, brothers, as one. I have now finished. Thank you.
Wow. So do you want, thank you for sharing, my friend. And, back when I was in the religion and the Christian realm, my purity of heart, one day full of compassion, I had a little pep talk with you, Lucifer. Like, how could you do that and everything? But we've learned from all the oppression and stuff. So thank you. And I'm glad you came in and shared with us. And so, Chris, that was just an example. I had a pep talk with, what they called the devil and Lucifer, and we prayed and whatever. And I had a pep talk with him, and it's like I knew him forever. So there's another example of deja vu, that we may be older in age than we really are. Maybe I hung around you, Lucifer, or something, and I don't know. Anyway, And I know the bright star, morning star. You're an angel. Just turned rogue and back now to join with us in unity. Thank you so much.
He is bowing, and he is saying blessings to everyone, and he's going back to the big, what I call the city ship, or city, big floating city in the sky above Earth. And I can see the scene fading out now. But that's what he came in to say. It's not like he was tooting his own horn or anything like that. He just wanted to set the record straight.
Right. Well, thank you. And as soon as the Jinn came in, right before you were going to bring him in, you're explaining it, your sound got better. For me, anyway. It's not breaking up as much anymore.
Yeah, because he
so
was
now
becoming impatient, I think, a little bit, because he was I could sense joy coming off of him, and he wanted to speak. I think that's why it was starting to, the sound was starting to suffer because of it.
Well, he was probably the first one in the Diamonds room tonight, because you were breaking up from the get-go. So I'm glad we brought you in, and we honor you. Thank you so much. And then now you wanted to bring in that James Gilead channels. Is that what you said? Somebody that James channels?
Yes. Today I met with, conferenced with a man named Matthew McGuire. He is in Australia, and he wanted to know more about this Hoag being, and he asked me to bring him through, in order, Matt's request of Hoag, being a Pleiadian and being out there amongst the stars, was create an intergalactic council, just based on the law of one and how we could apply it to everyday life. How we could apply it to literally everything we do in the within our illusion-based lives. And Hoag said he would do so this evening. So I'm looking for him. Now he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Pleiadian in a blue, jumpsuit outfit, like a light blue outfit. And let me see here.
I heard somebody coughing. Somebody just star 6, please, to mute out. Be sure you all star 6, guys. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I can see Hoag now. Yeah, he's actually quite a bit taller than I thought he was. He looks to be about, he said he's 9 feet tall. And he says
That's a good number.
Yeah, and he's giving the thumbs up. He's got long hands too. He's fairly big. For a Pleiadian, he's big. And he goes, "What do you mean for a Pleiadian? We're all tall like this." Let me see. He goes, "Your vision's just distorted, but and he's joking around. He's extremely joking. He's like my guide Simeon. He's kind of a card. So this is the first time I've brought Hoag through, other than in that reading earlier today. So I'm going to see what he has to say. And along with this council idea, this man Matt McGuire, came up with a contract releasing everyone from old contracts. He came up with this idea based on almost like a legal document. And he wanted to share that with everyone on the call. When it gets its final revision gets typed up, it'll be placed on my website. But he wanted to bring that up to Hoag as well, so he could participate in its penning. So let's see what Hoag has to say here. Oh, he says he wants to speak through me. Okay. Okay. My name is Hoag. That is short for a much longer name that humans cannot pronounce, unfortunately. And he's kind of chuckling. Not that I'm saying humans are dumb, which they are not. I'm just saying humans do not have the tongue for Pleiadian names at this moment in time. But that's not what I came to talk about. What I came to talk about is the oneness that is exhibited on these calls is exactly what we are helping humanity aim for. Me, along with the Pleiadian Collective and all other sovereignly individual Pleiadians out there, including some from the 3 planets known as Par, Ma, and Vu, which will be spoken of later on. They are all sovereign, as are all of you humans. Never think for a second that you are not divine. Never think for a second that these Cabal individuals, such as these installations known as CERN, for instance, that were recently taken down, never think for a second that we would ever have allowed these people and these other beings that aid them. We don't think for a second that I, even myself, would have allowed this planet to be destroyed by their arrogance. You, as a society, are well protected by the Pleiadian culture. We, if at a certain time this closure would not happen for some reason, we would make it so anyway. We have demanded this of the Cabal. We have attempted to talk to them face to face. They have since taken our people hostage in different installations around your world. You have discovered several of our people that were buried deep underground and in a prison. This place you call Australia, also known as a spaceship to us. The continent of Australia is not a landmass. It is a spaceship. A very ancient spaceship that we ourselves helped construct. These Pleiadians were deep underground, asleep, and they were found by the Cabal. They were in the very same chambers that the giants also used. We ourselves helped construct these chambers, but the giants ended up swiping, as you would say, a couple of them, which is fine with us. We were gone anyhow. However, what I am here to say is this, instead of me babbling on about who did what to whom and who is guilty of what. Love, in the end, along with the law of one, in the end, is what will defeat the Cabal. And as I say defeat, I do not mean good versus evil, even though defense in such constructs is perfectly permissible. I am saying in the raising of thought consciousness, in these installations that you discover week to week and day to day, pumping, as you would say, the law of one and light energy into them is the most beneficial thing you people here can do. This Rainbow Diamonds Council that you have created is the embodiment of the oneness that we wish to attain for all of humanity. However, we will step up to the plate, as you would say, with all bases loaded, as you would say in your sports terminology, if these Cabal individuals do not relent to the oneness. We can bare our fangs too, as you humans would say, but not in a violent way. These people only understand fear. So, in that respect, we would mimic that which they would despise. However, we would not mean it in our hearts and our minds. It is strategy, as you would say, is true. We have since been, in recent days, in communication with these individuals, trying to turn them to the light. To no avail. They are far too arrogant for their own good. They worship what they do not understand, as Lucifer has just said. They worship an individual that no longer exists in the same construct in which you portray him. So I say this now to the Cabal, which I know for a fact is listening, as does Cobra, as does the rest of the Pleiadian collective that is on board the surveillance vessel now looks over your world. Julian Wells, we speak to him, has spoken of this vessel. We, along with everyone else on board, speak to the Cabal now and address their high, they would call Chancellor, and he's putting that in quotes. Their Chancellor has met with us on that very vessel, so we speak to them now. Brothers, we speak to you now as one essence. We speak to you now as the Pleiadian collective, united under one voice. I, Hoag, and then Christos is coming forward. I, Christos. Orton is coming forward. I, Orton. Are the three in a triad of voices, a triumvirate, you would say. We speak to you now as brothers. We wish you to address us as brothers. We wish you to address humanity as brothers. Please do not do this any longer. We are asking you, please. All of your weapons have been nulled. All of your toys, as everyone here would say, has been nulled. All of your agents have been nulled or turned to the side of the light. Your freedom of liberties that you give to yourself is not correct in the new construct of energy. Your liberties of both technology and spirituality must be given freely to the people. We are asking you this in the name of all that is one. Please, do this for us, and more importantly for yourselves. I know, and we know, your arrogance will not allow you to hear our words, but we are hoping and scheming and praying that you, fellow beings of the potential light within you, will hear us. Part of you will hear us. Some of you that work for them will hear us and have in the past. We have several of our brethren being held in installations planet-wide. We have several of our own that have cried out for our help. We wish no bloodshed or violence. That is not our way. But we will also not allow our brethren to be held either. So, this is our proclamation to you, our fellow brothers. Let our people go, if you would, or we will aid the resistance in all of its fight. Not in a violent way, but we will send the full breadth of the resistance your direction. This is not a threat. This is not a threat of violence. This is our proclamation to you. If you will not reveal the knowledge to humanity, we will do so at the appointed time. Thank you. And bless all of you.
Wow. Thank you for bringing. We're honored that you brought it forth through the Diamonds Network, and the message got out. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you
for mediating. So wow. Mm-hmm. He's on the Pleadian observation ship that we talked about, that I have an ether camera on, and others do.
Yes. Him, and who he meant by, of course we know of Christos and Orton. He's come through on behalf of the Pleiadian collective, and now Hoag. And apparently they're like this triumvirate of voices that speak for the Pleiadian collective, and they will do so from this point forward. Speak for the Pleiadian collective, depending on what aspect they wish to present. It seems Hoag is more the warrior, Christos is more the scientist, and Orton is more the heart. And they're speaking as those different aspects, and it was Hoag tonight that wanted to speak.
Well, I'm just so humbled and thankful that you used the Diamonds Network platform to bring that forth. And Chris and everybody else that's listening, they're serious, They're serious, you guys. That message they gave you, whoever they gave it to that's listening too. So now I don't think there's ever been that kind of message to come through on the Earth radio, we'll just say. So it's starting, and they're serious. So you guys, come over to our side. It's going to be fun. Just lay it down. It's not. How can it be fun anymore? You guys know it's not any fun anymore. Over and over and over again, and you're just going around in circles, and you're not happy. So try it this way. Just come and try it. See if you like it. If you don't like it, go back the other way. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right, Elizabeth. I mean, Lucifer gave it up. The Cabal should give it up. And what else can we do to help the Cabal step back and let great things happen in Paris with the 150 world leaders this week? Can we do anything?
Okay, well, let me finish up. So I just want to think, I wanted to finish my thought. What was it? Let me think. So truly, I know what you mean, and I'll just say, batter up. Bases are loaded, and he meant that. He meant that. I understand what he meant when he said that. That he came on a on-Earth radio channel to talk to you guys. I think this may be your last proclamation, because bases are loaded, batters up, and if you want to be a part of this, it'd be great for you guys to do disclosure for announcing all the secrets, bringing forth in mass media the secrets. It's time to speed it up a little bit more. Things have been leaking out, and maybe you're leaking out so you don't have to reveal everything, but everything's going to get revealed one way or the other. You just heard it. So come on, just try it. See if you like it. Just try it for a week. Please try your strategy of bringing forth more than you want to. Just take a leap of faith. Try it. See if you like it. And if you don't like it, you can go back to your ways. And, somebody's going to hit a home run and bring all the people in, and we win the game, because that's just the way the game's going now. So anyway, love you guys.
Yeah, and I see also since Hoag stepped back, there was a being in the background that answered his call. He was talking to the Cabal directly, and I'm seeing a blurred figure step forward. Let me see here. I'm having a hard time seeing this figure. It looks like it's a gray. So let me see. Okay, yeah, he cleared up his image. He's definitely a gray without a doubt. And he is...
You're welcome. We love you.
He is telling me... Okay, this was the very same one that I spoke to earlier today that Matt and I were addressing. He is saying, as he said to us earlier today, and I will post that interview here very, very soon to make it easier to understand what's been going on. He is saying he is eternally sorry for what his people have put humanity through. All these installations, all these secret bases, all these secret places. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's making a map available to me as to where his people have been hiding. He's showing me... Oh, cool. He's showing me installations planet-wide. There are all these little points of light that he's highlighting like tacks on a board. Let me see. Oh.
He's highlighting the places where the Cabal or...
where his
being bad?
Yes, where the Greys in particular are doing experiments on people underground. Why they're not supposed to, but they're violating the contract. So he's pointing out where they are, and I'll name a few here. It looks like there's one in Texas, one in I'm moving over a couple states. It looks like one in South Carolina, one in Florida. Further up the coast, there's one in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine. In Canada, there's a couple. Oh, really? There's one below Oak Island. That I didn't expect that. Let me see. Of course, Alaska, Greenland. In Europe, there's several in Norway, Denmark, Finland, Spain, France. Let's see. Yeah, several in Africa. There's a lot of them in Africa. Too many to count. There's it looks like a Christmas tree lit up there.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a ton in Greece, Italy, Russia. Let me see. India. The Middle East is surprisingly sparse on some of these experimentation places. Australia is just loaded with them. Let me see. Yeah, they're planet-wide. So what? Okay, I see what he's wanting me to do. Okay. I'm now binding all of these together since the Greys are highly telepathic places.
I was just going to say, let's wrap them all. Let's wrap them all up in the law of one with maximum efficiency, minimum effort, and we're going to put in the Paris, whatever Candy's Paris request was to help
they're in France,
for the highest good of all concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of these installations below Paris I can see too lit up. So, and in England.
Let me just say it really. Yeah. I mean, we are all one. When one is harmed or compromised, all are harmed or compromised. When one is helped, all are helped. So therefore, in the name of who I am and who we are, and I am one with all that there is, I ask that only the highest good of all concerned happen out of all of these operations going on. So be it, so it is. And thank you that this is done. And I ask also for the highest good to happen in other races that are doing bad things, for the highest good of in any operation on Earth, and I will just say in this universe, and the highest good of all concerned. Thank you.
Yes, I can see there's all these different grays that now turn towards my turn. We got their attention, and I also said to during this, no more of this. You don't need to do this. You've also been ousted, so the good guys know where you are now. One of your own people ousted you, who did not want to continue with this anymore. He's ashamed of it. So he's one of the biological grays, not the machine ones. And he's also saying his name to all of them. He's one. This is the speech he's giving all of them. He's saying, "My name is Johabai, and I am of the reticulate order. My people, you are as ancient as the stars, yet you act as children do when they have thrown what humans call a temper tantrum. You know our people are sparse, yet you act like we are many and that we rule the stars. This is not so, and this is not to be so from this point forward. Your allegiance is to the oneness, not to the arrogance of these Cabal humans. We are all one, as they have said, so honor this. We are far more ancient than the humans. We need to act as teachers and as guides to help them, not as overlords and slave drivers. Our time is done. Let humans enjoy their time in the sun." Now I'm seeing they are all looking telepathically at each other. They can hear each other's thoughts no matter where they are on Earth. And they're listening to Joabai. It's not spelled with a J, it's spelled some other way. It's some weird spelling here. But they're all going to him, and it looks like they're communicating with him in a circle. I can't hear the conversation that's going on, but they're communicating with him directly. They are going back to, they bilocated to him, and they're going back down and I'm seeing another ship seeing a spaceship come into view here. That is, oh, okay, I think these are the good guys. No, these are, well, of course, it's the good guys, but these are the Pleiadians, back to the Pleiadians now. They are telling me that they said, we have this under control now. Thank you for telling us where these installations are. I didn't have to even name all of them. They just knew by the energy points that were lit up on that world map. Even if I didn't name the place on air, they knew by the energy marker that was placed there like a thumbtack. So they are now, the Pleiadians are stepping up, doing like what the Dark Fleet / Resistance people are doing, and they're going to these different places. They said also at these installations are some of their imprisoned brethren. So they're going there to look for them.
If anything, Chris, we're giving our star brothers and sisters more work every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yes.
You guys like with us giving you more work, huh? Yeah, they've waited for a long time for this. We just ask with the law of one and ask. Wow.
Yes, and they are. I can see a woman and a man, a Pleiadian. They look very familiar to me, and the female is coming for. Where? Oh, wait a minute, that's not the female. There was something they had with them that looked shorter. That had a lot of hair that was walking up to me. They have like a pet or something with them, kind of like how we have dogs. And they had a pet with them, and it was coming up to me like it looks like a dog, but very, very different. Way too curly even for like a poodle. This is very different, but it was just walking up to me and wanted to say hi like how a dog would. And they said, yeah, they use them to sniff out their own people when they're going in search of them, like a bloodhound. And I reached out and started petting this animal, and he's got spikes along his head. They said he's a type of dog, but he's got like spikes on his head, like how almost like a dinosaur would. And it's like almost they said he's not complete canine, that he has other DNAs in there too. They bred a bunch of species together to make like a bloodhound type of animal, but they're actually very kind. They didn't breed anything violent into them. And yeah, I can see, yeah, he's kind of in my face, like going, hi, hi, hi. And I was petting him a little bit. I can actually feel, like the hair. It's kind of soft but coarse at the same time. And very, he's cute. He looks like how, the closest description I can give is a mix between a golden retriever and a poodle. And they said they are called, the species, they called them, I'm trying to pronounce it here, Novi. And they said they have a keener sense of smell than even our bloodhound. They can sense energy fields, and they can do, not bilocating, wrong choice of words, they can do echolocation too, like a dolphin. And what these Pleiadians can't sense, these animals can. So they are going into these different facilities. Yeah, they're taking them into these different facilities. They let them go, like they had them on a leash, and they just let them run. And
oh, thanks for sharing that with us. Wow.
So they said if you see a strange animal like that, that looks kind of like a dog, but with like these small like nub spikes along the back, that's one of these Novi creatures.
Nice.
They're kind. They're very benevolent. They're not like mean or anything like that. And they have several of them with them, and they're sending them off into these holes in the ground. And it looks like these animals have the ability to make themselves invisible as well. As I saw one of them just kind of fade away, like he was like being cloaked or something, and and this Pleiadian captain is going, no, we're using our technology to hide them. They don't have that inherent ability.
Yeah, and we have that technology too. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and they said don't worry about it. They said they don't worry about this. We got this covered. I'm asking this captain and his, it looks like a wife standing next to him. I'm asking them their names. Yeah, and they said they said not at this time. So they said I'll recognize them again if I see them. But
Beautiful.
they just wanted to make sure we knew they were there, and they're working closely with this gray that's helping them out. This Javan, I can't pronounce his name, but that's a name of all consonants practically. It's hard to pronounce. But they said, don't worry, all their names are like that. So this guy is coming
it's like
with
this.
him.
Shukalamaginiana. That's one name.
Yeah, that's
and
it's like it's like that, where it's like a long name, and he just said for his name call him Jovi for short. So I'm like, okay, that
Jovi.
works.
Thank you.
And Jovi's going
Thank you for what you guys do.
Jovi's going with the Pleiadians, and he's much shorter than they are. He's like probably not Alik's height, but he is actually I'd have to say probably about 5'2", 3", something like that. And he's shorter than the Pleiadians. He looks like a midget next to them, but he's taking off with them, and he's actually what we would call, like a cop would call, a snitch. He's basically helping them find their people.
Wow, nice. If we're done with this, now are we done with this one part?
I'm gonna see if they have anything else to add here. They're like, no, we're good. We have to go to work now. I'm like, okay. And they're
Love
waving.
you guys. Mwah. Yes. I want to see if there's any our brothers and sisters out there that would like to share with us that's never been shared before, as of yet, and is safe to share, of any new technologies that we will be receiving, or just share with us our own technologies inside of us that you're helping us recode and put back online, so to speak.
Okay.
Anybody out there? Any takers out there? Hello.
There is.
Yoo-hoo, come on.
There is one individual that showed up that his species is unfamiliar to me. This looks like somebody new. Let me see. He is large and purple and black. Let's see. And he is. He joked at me. He goes, "You humans would call it mauve." And I'm asking what species he is, and he goes, none that we would know yet. He's just like a head. I'm just seeing a head, just like disembodied head. I don't know if somebody's bilocating to look at me, and I'm just seeing their head. Nope, this is I can just see a large head, and he has 3 eyes, like an oval-shaped eye on the top of his head, vertical oval, one on his forehead, and he has 2 other eyes that are like ours. And he's purple. His face looks human-esque. Other than that, but his hair is black and wavy. And he goes, "What are you talking about hair? This isn't hair." And it looks almost like fingers. And he says, "Yes." He goes, "That's the way we touch. Like hands." And I said. And I asked what species he is, and he says he's using the term. He says they are keepers of the code. He's saying. And I asked him what keepers of what code. And he says your sciences would call it. He's using one of his own words. But he's showing me the images of like a stair step. Keepers of what code?
Our codes in our DNA, right?
Yes, and yep. And he says his
unlocking
species,
it all.
Yes, his species is one of them that contributed to our genome, like that eyeball guy before. Let me see. He says his species are called. This is a large word. He's going to shorten this. I'm going to spell this out first. Okay, and he shortened the name. It was a very, very long name, but he shortened it to, I'll spell it out, it's Kronoc. Kronoc, he says, is a short version of the name. He says history has known his people before in mythology. He says look to Sumerian, Grecian, and Roman mythology and some Scandinavian mythology, and we would find his people there. Not in the proper context or construct, but they're there. And he says his people have existed outside of the earth construct or illusion for millennia, and their faces are similar to ours because we gained their face. Even though they are purple, their face, even though it's physical, they are, God, how can I translate this? He's saying their face and our face are one. Our pineal gland was added to because of their own physical third eye that they have, that one day we will grow one on our forehead. Some of us will, not everyone. It's not just the Syrian star beings that give the bluish and purple skin hues later on. He says his people gave a gift in the genome, not much. It was just like General Core's people, the eyeball people as I call them, gave only a little bit to the eyes. He gave to the face and the structure. I'm asking what the symbolism is in that, because they always have a symbolism behind it too. And he's saying the face we give is not just our own, but that of the oneness that we learned so long ago. Our people had wars just like yours, had suffering just like your own. Even though we appear very different than your own people, without a body, we just have a head and energy surrounding. We did not always look this way. Our earlier facade and construct was much like your own. However, our faces reflected that of our feelings, just like your emotions reflect that on your own face. We gave this ability to you. This is our gift to humanity, to show your true intent in your facial expressions, even though the other race you spoke of and General Core's people gave it the emotions and feelings in a glance. We gave it in the facial expressions themselves. You would call us angels of harmonious givings. I think he's saying harmonious. Oh God, what else is he saying? Harmonious gifts or harmonious intentions. He's using some of his own language in there. He's wanting me to try to translate it now. But he says in your histories he has mentioned. He's talking directly to you, Cynthia, now, and Marianne and Mare. He's saying in your teachings you have mentioned his people once.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, so not at this time you don't want to share any technologies either that will be given to us or technologies in ourselves, each of us. I want to honor you. You came in for a reason. There's no accident. So what would you like to share from your heart to humanity? And we here at the Diamonds Network gave you a platform to do that. So come and share with us.
He is saying, my only message is this: to show on your face the true emotions you have is what it truly means to be alive. We gave this to you. Our collective of minds gave this to you. We are known as the Kronocian collective of minds. We gave this gift of sovereign facial expressions, the uniqueness of choice, in that to your people. The technology, as you say, we no longer require. We have ascended, quote unquote, beyond that capability or that need for a spaceship. We are not fully energy, as you say. We are of the... Oh, really? He's telling me that we are of the... I don't even know if there's a density this high. He says 25th. I said, no, that can't be right. No, he's insisting that's correct.
Listen, we're limitless, so anything's possible. All things are possible. We're limitless, so...
I don't know how he's even talking to me at a density that high, but he says there is a buffer in between the energies where he's making it possible to talk.
Wow.
That's
Thank you,
odd.
sir.
Yeah.
You can hear us. You can hear that. You know about the Diamonds Network all the way up on 25th floor, huh?
Yes. He says these sounds of thought and of feeling and of technological projections, he means the radio and the internet, siphon all the way up to his floor, as you would say. They hear all of it, and they see all of it. Let me see.
Nice.
And they've been waiting for time to come through, but he's referencing what I said about the memory. He's saying within that time frame that people have forgotten, they've gained certain abilities to tolerate densities even better during the forgotten times. And
you mean the forgotten age time? Is we're older than we think?
Yes, yes. During the forgotten ages of humanity, he says we gain the ability to tolerate different densities, and just because he is of 25th density does not mean that he could not communicate. And the reason that it is easier, even though there are 12th density beings and 15th density beings that have a hard time communicating, they don't use the same buffering. He says he's putting technology in quotes. He's not using technology, but technology can create this same buffering. We have the capability of doing this ourselves with technology and thought.
That goes to say, guys, don't limit anything. Do not box anything in your life. Do not limit your thoughts. Do not limit anything. Do not have any expectations of just be free and be expanded. We're communicating with the 25th floor. Thank you. I love you so much. My brother that came in.
Yeah, he's saying...
And is still here.
Yes, he's saying... he's asking me if I wish to know his name and rank, so to speak, and I said yes, of course. And he says his name is...
he knows the protocol, Chris. You forgot to ask his name.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wasn't going to ask him, and he says his name is... I'll spell this out. His name, he says, it's Trusafar, Trucifar. And he says his ranking, so to speak, is, even though he's keeper of the code, they don't really have a hierarchy, but if we wanted to know like something similar, he's more of a record keeper, or we would say like an accountant or number keeper or something like that. He's like, we would have somebody in an office keeping like an archive of things, or like how a museum has like records in the back or something like that. He's one of those type of people.
Well, namaste, Trucifar. If I got that right.
Yep.
Namaste.
And now
thank you.
He's saying now he's having to back off now because the density friction's becoming too much. But he's saying blessed be, and he's now backing off.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And I think we're probably much done. But there's one thing that just came to me. There's a dragon out there that has a message. A dragon.
Oh,
Can
really?
you see that dragon? Come on in, Dragon.
Oh,
Love you.
it came to you. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. There is one. Yeah, I can see him, and he's in. Let me see here. I'm trying to see where he's at here. He is flying around. I can see him over Earth, but I'm seeing where he's leading me here. Oh, he's showing me like a sunset in the background. And okay, I recognize this realm that he's in. I don't remember the name of the realm. I have it in my notes, but this is where some of his people go to when they're not here. And they go to this realm of this colorful sun. That's like this sun that has like rainbows around it. And there's like these big like castle-like formations that are made of like these rainbow-looking like stones. And I've seen this realm before. This is they go there when they're taking a break, like going on vacation or something. Like somebody would go to a spa or go to meditate out in the forest or something like that. This is their spot. And he's showing me this because why is he showing me this? He looks familiar to me. This dragon looks very familiar to me. And I'm trying to see if oh, I know exactly who this is. This particular dragon, I have spoken to him before. He says his name is Than. Than, like Than, but it's Than. And he is a mediator between his own people and humans. And he's showing me this realm where they go to relax. And he's telling me this is where humans need to go to be in the moment. And he says this sun that he's flying towards is not a sun, it's a portal. And he's showing me that it leads... Where does it go? It leads through a corridor through space and time. Oh, he said just space. Okay, he corrected me. And it goes past the moon and goes down to Earth, and it looks almost like a rainbow bridge. And he says there's a portal to this place. Where is it located? He's showing me a map of the world. It is located in the southern United States, just above Florida. I think in South Carolina. Let me see. Somewhere in South Carolina, it looks like. And let me see what dimensional plane it intersects. It looks like all of them. And it looks like, yeah, he came through in the southern United States there. He says there's several others, but that's the one happens to be walking through. And he's showing me his people now have access worldwide to their original meditation, quote-unquote, realm. And it's full of colors. It's just like a giant rainbow.
How do us humans get there?
He says through...
So you said that we should go there.
He says through joy.
Oh.
Than says through joy you can reach this realm. And for some reason he raised his hand up. He wanted me to high-five him for some reason. Okay. Let me see. Because him and I have met before. I didn't recognize him right off the bat. But
hey, I want to high-five you too. Ready? Put your paw up. Or your hand, whatever.
Yes, and he is... oh, and there's another dragon here that I'm familiar with. His name is Tanis. And Tanis... not Thomas, Tanis, Tonis, Tanis. And he is... I've met him before, too. And I'm seeing a third one in the background named Zarganis. I've definitely met him before. And they're all the dragons are there to greet everybody. And he's saying that's their realm of choice, even though they didn't come from there. That's their realm of choice to take a breather. To live in joy is to take that breather. From the franticness of the world. And he says it's very easy to do. They're not tooting their own horn or anything. They're just saying it's very simple to do if one knows where to look.
Well, they gave us a vacation place to go to right in the privacy of our own home.
Yes.
Be in joy.
Yeah, be in joy, and then you'll see that realm of rainbows.
Oh, well, you know our law of fun, right? We'll keep doing the law of fun. They must have heard our law of fun and then shared their vacation spot with us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are now. Yeah, they're all laughing at the moment, and they're sending this laughter energy out to everyone on the call right now. Everyone that's listening, even people that aren't listening, but people that are here, they're sending this like rainbow beam out to everybody.
Even the people that will listen on YouTube, even. So you're not left out either, guys.
That energy will be transmitted through the YouTube, they said, and through the internet.
Glory. Thank you. Thank you.
And they're all bowing now there, and they're all saying, blessed be humans of the time of the phase change. We wish to act as intermediaries to the realm of what you would call rainbows. It is not the same thing, it just looks the same. So we wish to help instill joy in everyone. Blessed be. And it looks like they're fading out now. They're all waving and the scene's fading.
See, guys, dragons like to have fun, too.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons like to have joy. Nice. We learned a little about dragons tonight. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Candy, do you have any comments, or anybody, moderators, anybody in the audience have a comment? Or now's your time. Chris, thank you. We did a lot of work tonight, huh?
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, now you're going to have me thinking about that age thing more. You're still unraveling that code, that puzzle.
Yeah, I'm close to cracking that, but even though my guides, some of them are kind of leery of me doing that, I think that's more of they think it's a safety issue than anything else. They said just their advice to me was just live your life and it'll happen anyway.
Right, and it happens for all of us. And tonight, when we got that, when the Pleiadians brought in that proclamation and they were serious so we're close, to being safer, so we can talk about more things and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything you want to end this with, Chris?
I think we've pretty much covered it tonight.
Okay, and then just remember tomorrow's called Voices of the Alternative World on Tuesday. Candy's show's on Wednesday. The Candy show's an hour later, and all the other shows are at 7:30 p.m. Central. Let me make sure I have the audience on. Let me just see if there's any comments. If anybody wants to come in.
All callers are muted. All callers are unmuted.
Hold on.
All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
Okay, the room's fixed. Come on in if you guys have any comments. *6 before we hang up. That sounds terrible.
Well, I'll just put in my 2 cents worth. This is Sunny, and quite amazing call as usual. And this whole business about the age thing. I was wondering now, is this have to do with, are our childhood memories real memories? I know you don't have a lot of time now, but that was crossed my mind, our childhood memories. Yeah, or is it just a matter of missing time? Like we had a period of missing time.
I feel it's just a matter of missing time. I feel our childhood memories are still the same. It's just there was a lot more to them.
No,
there's longer. There's like chunks of our life pulled out of our consciousness, I suppose. Yeah, that because the chunks would, if we added the chunks back, then we'd be older than we really, than older. But we know, older in age, that doesn't mean you look old, because there's technology, there's youthfulness.
Well, it's very interesting to contemplate all that, to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Trusting that the memories will come to us if it's meant to be. So we'll be shown the reality and the truth of all of these things. So,
it's meant to be.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, surely. And I'll just say that tomorrow night's show on Voices of the Alternative World, I have another Chris on there, someone I knew 40 years ago, and he's going to be talking about gardening and organic gardening in Oregon and the sharing garden. So I'll just put that out there. So hope to see many of you there.
Okay, great. And there's a lot of people still on. Come on, you guys, just come in and put your 2 cents in. Say hi and what you thought. Any comments, thoughts? Come on, you guys, it's your turn to talk now. Chris has said a lot. And *6. Come on, you guys. You can't all be shy. I guess they're all shy, Chris.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, but that's okay. All right, until tomorrow. And next week, I said at the beginning of the show, it's December 1st. It's November 30th. In a couple hours, it'll be December 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, keep shining you diamonds and keep talking with your brothers and sisters galactic-wise. Keep loving your egos. Put tape on their mouth and put them in a chair and push them to the back room, shut the door, and give them some love. And love your emotions and be good to yourself. Keep shining. See you next week on Monday.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.